Hey y'all, another video. Wanted to show off Banshee. I think she's criminally underrated, and I've been having a lot of fun with her lately. Recently I slapped a bunch of form onto her and just want to make a full build. I'm kind of committing to trying out lesser used Warframes and putting full builds on them and seeing how I like them. And it has kind of like sparked my my love of this game again, because I was getting kind of bored of it. But Banshee, she can do a lot of damage, and she has one of the best abilities in the entire game. And then she has one fantastic ability, and then she has two kind of shit abilities, one of them being one of the worst in the game. So, let's get into it. Here's the first build I'll be showing y'all two today. We're going to be using Condemn on the first build. This build is kind of just for, I guess, just all-around play. I mean, both of them can be used for all-around play. However, I find this one incredibly comfy for it. So we're using Condemn. Pretty much you just don't gotta worry about your shields. You can just throw that whenever, and it works to like lock enemies in place for sonars, so you can hit them easier. Or, which is the main reason why I'm using this, Sonic Boom. These synergize in a really weird way, kind of like how Snow Globe does, and I think Snow Globe and this ability are the only ones that do this. But pretty much you can lock them in place with Condemn, and then Sonic Boom them, and then they take 50% of their health as damage. It doesn't matter how much health they have, they just take it like a good boy. So that's another cool interaction with these two abilities. What makes Banshee Banshee, and what, if you do know anything about her, this is probably what you know about her, it's Sonar. Sonar is probably up there with Eclipse as the strongest damage buff in the game, like Eclipse and Roar. But it works differently because this is more of a vulnerability. You put a spot on the enemy, and if you shoot that spot, it multiplies your damage. Here it multiplies it by, with everything stacked up, it's around like 11 times. But here it says 9.55. It's really strong. It goes through walls. It doesn't have any line of sight checks either, and it goes really far at base. I'll put a clip here. As you can see here, I am way far away from them, and it is still hitting them. You know, I have my back turned and everything. I could be in the other room, but completely different wall, and the sonar would still hit them. This also works with how resonance works, and if you kill an enemy through a wall or something, it will still spread. It's really strong, especially with resonance. Resonance is what makes this ability one of the strongest in my opinion. I think it's too clunky with that resonance, and they don't overlap as easily. Like the spots can overlap, and with the resonance it's a lot easier. Alright, and then we got Prime Continuity for a little bit more duration, Transient Fortitude for some strength. It kind of does take down our duration, but we have Prime Continuity, which gives us a lot, so we're still above 100%, and our spots last 38 seconds, and I think that's enough. Resonance, of course, we already went over that. Augur Reach and Stretch for some range. Honestly, you could probably dump Stretch or Augur Reach. If you're using Condemn, I'll probably dump Augur Reach. We got Prime Float for very large energy pool. She has a lot of energy at base, so that's quite nice. Equilibrium for energy sustain. That goes along with Arcane Steadfast. These two make it so you pretty much never have to worry about your energy at all. You pretty much just have it all the time. Umbral Intensify for a little more strength. And Prime Sure-Footed. Prime Sure-Footed is especially important on Banshee because you kind of want to be using AoE weapons with her, and she has no other way to resist knockdowns. So this helps a lot. for the weapons that I suggest for this build, you can pretty much use anything, but AoE weapons are the best for her. Bubonico is incredibly fun with her. Where is it? Aolak with the alt fire, very fun. Exceltra, if you're one of the Exceltra goons, you can use that too. It's also really good. Where is it? Kuva Ogress. Kuva Ogress is especially really good with her because of the augment for it. The augment can actually hit the sonar spots. And because it's like an 11 times damage boost, and this thing has like 3 shots in the magazine, it's a significant boost in damage for this weapon. Trumna alt fire as well. You can hit damage cap like with only like a couple spots on them. With this, it's really funny. You can also use like an Arcoplasma or something to more easily hit the spots, but AoE is the way to go, especially if you're going through walls and stuff. Hello again. Yeah, I lost some of the recording, so I'm redoing a part of it where I was talking about Acarius. I was talking about how this is the main weapon I use in everyday content with Banshee. Good fucking load. Alright. This is the build for... Motherfucker, what is up with my computer? So we're using a secondary fortifier. Pretty much in base steel path, this makes you unkillable. Especially on an AoE weapon with an AoE as large as Acarius. This also goes through walls, and it fires several shots. It fires 2 at base, but with multi-shots, obviously more. And every one of those shots has this AoE. So something you could do, and I've been experimenting with trying out. Where is it? Oh, I sold it, yeah. So I had a Magnum Force, and I sold it. But what you can do is you can nuke your accuracy, and what it makes it do is it makes it spread out the shots more. And I think I'm gonna rank this up whenever I can. But I'm a little low on credits at the moment. So I can't. Shut the fuck up! Okay. So yeah, you could try that. But yeah, this weapon is just good in general. Especially with her, with the huge AoE. With this weapon alone, you can get like well over 100 KPM. It's a great weapon. At least for base steel path. I wouldn't recommend it in level cap unless you're like spamming the fuck out your sonars, because you can hit damage cap with them. The problem is that the reload speed is super low and there isn't much ammo in the magazine. So in level cap, you can be caught with your pants down, and you can get hit and get your shield down, and you die. So the downtime is the main reason why I wouldn't recommend these for level cap. I tried. I was able to get to like level 5,000, and then the reload speed got to me, and had to switch weapons. Like, not a lot. With Eclipse, you kind of need like a baseline, like of what you have on the weapon in order for it to be able to do like monstrous damage. Not on Banshee, you can have no mods on the weapon and be able to do millions of damage. I'll show this right here. Alright. So yeah, that's quite strong. That's what I like using with her. Lex Prime Incarnon is really good with her because how wide the wave is. So you just hit the wave, so you're always hitting the spots. The kit guns, the Catch Moon is pretty good with her. As stated before, the Spore Lacer is quite good with her as well. What's another one? Sicarus Incarnon is quite good with her. The grenade from the Catabolist can also hit the spots and do stupid damage. That's quite funny. You could even just use the Grimoire for utility and just also do a lot of damage with it, because it does have kind of a wide projectile, so you're very likely to hit with it. And it also has infinite ammo, so you don't really gotta worry about reloading it or anything like that. And then it has all the utility from the tome mods and stuff. So that's also something you could do. Same thing with Prisma Angstrom, with bouncing projectiles and stuff. Dual Tox as well, but Dual Tox is kind of just good by itself. You can level cap with just this weapon. It's really OP. For melees, I personally like using an Exodia Contagion dagger, or just any Zaw with Exodia Contagion. I'm choosing the Bala because I have a good Riven for it. Pretty much any melee weapon works though. You can use any melee weapon. Gunblades are quite fun with her, especially the Stropha, because it's just one big projectile and it can hit the spots real easy. Pole arms are really good because they have the kind of like sweeping attacks that go like up and down, so you're very likely to hit them. Harmony, you can also hit the spots quite easy, and they get knocked down as well, and they take all the damage all at once, and lots of damage. Cost assist, the little cum puddle it leaves on the floor also can trigger the sonar. That's quite nice. Chlorophyll as well. It's just like anything with a projectile. Like any projectile melees are quite good with her, especially glaives. Quassus is quite good, and we're getting Zaku Prime soon. So Quassus Prime is coming out. Vertilak. Vertilak also works real well because of the projectile. Those are the only real notable ones, but pretty much anything works. You can use whatever. For the companion, I'm currently using Diriga because I was doing level cap, and I find Nautilus a little annoying in level cap because I'm trying to, especially on Banshee, because I'm trying to survive, and if they're all bunched up on my ass, it's a little hard to survive. In Base Steel Path, it's a good thing to have all the enemies bunched up, but in level cap, I find it a little annoying. But I would suggest you use Nautilus or Worm. You can use Worm as well for the status immunity, but we have Overguard with this build, so if you're not using Fortifier, you could use that. You could use a Panzer for viral spreading as well, and you know you're able to use the 60% fire rate bond mod and also Tenacious Bond on the Panzer, so you can do that. That's it for the first build. For the second one, we are using Brief Respite, and this time it's actually important to use Brief Respite. You can't just like switch it out for growing power, you need this. Catalyzing Shields as well, so these two together and Augur Reach make it so most of our abilities refill our shields in one cast. So every button here is a panic button. And then we have Arcane Aegis that'll proc every now and then to make it so we're just invincible for 12 seconds and we no longer have to shield gate. Prime Sure-Footed is really important for this specifically because if you get knocked down, you can't shield gate, and if you can't shield gate, you die. We have a semi-ranked Blind Rage just to nuke our efficiency a little bit, just so we can spam our abilities more. Sorry, not spam our abilities more, spam our shield gate more. Excuse me. If you don't want to do that, you can just pop Transient Fortitude in there. It gives you the same strength. Well, it's 1% off, but it's functionally the same strength. But just doesn't nukes your duration a little bit instead of your efficiency. Or, you know, you could be just a fucking demon, and if you're good at managing your energy and you don't care that much, you could just use a full ranked one. I find this more comfortable, though. Prime Continuity, of course, for more duration. Resonance, as stated with Sonar, it makes it really comfortable to use. It makes it spread throughout rooms, so it makes it so you have to cast it less. Equilibrium for energy sustain. In this case, because we're using Arcane Energize, it's kind of not needed. You could put something else here. Arcane Energize is perfectly fine at sustaining your energy. However, I like the insurance of just being able to pick up a health orb and have a great amount of energy. Prime flow as well. I should have mentioned this before, but if you're using blue Archon shards, because she has such a huge energy pool at base, you can take this off and put something else there. Umbral Intensify as well for more strength. These builds are quite similar. There's only a couple different mods. The main thing that's different about this build is that we were using Wrathful Advance. If you don't know what Wrathful Advance is, it is a teleport, and it doesn't require a target like the way Ash's teleport does. You can just teleport. And while you do that, it also gives you a buff for, depending on your duration, it starts at 10 seconds. You get a flat critical chance buff. So pretty much if you have 1% crit chance, instead of, getting like 3% with 190% multiplicative buff of the 1%, this is just flat, so it'd be 191% crit chance. So it makes it so on most weapons, at least if they have like around like 20% crit chance, you don't even really need to put crit chance mod on there. That works really well with our Exotic Contagion Dagger, making it so it's pretty much constant red crits, and we already have 136.7 critical chance on this build. So it's a lot of critical chance. And that's the second build. Alright. Let's get into some gameplay. Alright, we're doing a live recording for the first build.
Predictable, as expected.
This is the Condemn one. I have a recording of an endurance run for the other one.
Or attach Kuba catalysts to begin harvesting.
Pretty much with Banshee, you just spam sonar, and once you have enough on them, you can just spread it around. So one thing I forgot to mention when I said there was two good abilities is Silence. So what Silence does is it turns off the abilities of enemies. It turns Xmas abilities off, and it turns off Acolyte abilities. So you know how Violence, the Limbo Acolyte, sometimes makes it so you can't use your abilities, or sometimes you get stuck in your operator and you can't go back into your Warframe and it ends up fucking you over. Pretty much that's what it does. It's the same ability. And it is really, really strong and is really underrated. Banshee isn't even the best user of it. If you have a slow ability with Silence, you can get really, really good CC just by moving around. So what you could do is you could do like a slightly negative range, or just keep neutral range, and you can just jump back and forth in between enemies, and it'll keep them in a constant stun loop. And if you use a Cold Proc, or Gloom, or Nova's Slow, it makes it so pretty much enemies can't move whatsoever. So it keeps you really safe because it turns off Xmas abilities, and it's good CC. I'd say the best user of the ability though is Ash, because she has an augment for Silence that that boosts finisher damage, and that benefits Ash's Blade Storm by a lot. It's like a 700% increase in damage for Ash.
Support on the way.
So it's a great ability. It's really good, really underrated, and I think people have been talking about it. We are 2 minutes in right now, almost 3. Let's see how many kills we're at. We at 368, so yeah, we are over 100 KPM right now.
delivered another life support capsule.
I really love Fortifier on her. It's just so good. Oh, another thing about the sonars, your companion can actually hit them. Go ahead, buddy. There you go. You can actually hit them, and it boosts their damage by a lot. If they even hit them. There you go. That's quite good. And when I said that Banshee has one of the worst abilities in the game, I was talking about her 4. I actually forgot the name of her 4. That's how bad it is. So pretty much she puts her hands on the floor and she vibrates the ground and it does like 2 damage. It used to be really OP back in the day for XP farming and resource farming and stuff like that because there used to be an augment for it that pretty much made it so you just put your hands on the ground and then you're able to get up and do passive damage, and they used to be incredibly strong back in the day. Almost at 5 minutes. Just waiting for the acolyte. There's 3 now. There's some other helmet options you can use. There's Open Eyes. I saw someone using. I think I saw Attack of the Potato using it, and then I think I saw someone else use it. Open Eyes can actually hit the sonars as well,
Just made their first discovery.
and can do some decent like 15k ticks over time, and that seems like a really cool build. It also armor strips and slows, so it synergizes really well with her kit because of silence. Because it's slow, and does fire damage as well. That's another very underrated ability, another helmet that I'm thinking about making a build for at some point, once I get another Jade. Yeah, very fun, really easy build to use. Acolyte spawn. Oh, speak of the devil. Hey, buddy. So I'm gonna try to let him use silence if he wants. He can't. Oh, yeah, Condemn can also lock him in place. I go ahead and just get rid of him. Yeah, he couldn't use silence on me. Alright, this is the second build. The footage thing in the back is from yesterday. It's a attempted level cap run. We ended up having a couple bugs happen with an Exilizer, and it just kind of got a little too hectic for us to control, and we ended up having to dip. So this is the Wrathful Advanced build. Serves 2 purposes as stated before. One is for movement. It makes you move incredibly quick because it's a teleport. Fun fact about the teleport, it is a true teleport, which means that it takes you from one point and actually teleports you to another. There's some teleports in games just move you to that location, just like from pretty much just like a speed boost. But this one does not. It's just you pretty much come out of the game and your character doesn't exist, and they pop back in reality in that space. Switch teleport works the opposite way, and so does Ash's teleport as well. Obviously the other benefit of it is the huge bump to your crit chance, as you saw there. Some dummy damage. And this is why you run a throwing weapon with sonar, because you can get damage like this. It's kind of hard to show her damage sometimes, because it seems that if you kill the enemy with the base damage already, you don't get to see the sonar damage, but once you go higher up in levels, you seem to be able to see it. Because in the other recording, all the highest damage we were seeing was like a million or something, but up in higher levels, it's more consistent that you'll see the big boom. This brings up another thing about Banshee, and that is that she loves being in a team so much. Sonar works for your teammates as well. They can also shoot it, and I believe they can also spread it by killing as well. There's another Acolyte one-shotted, and that was with the team being with me as well. So they get like, I think they have like 3 times health or something like that. I don't actually remember, but I know they're a lot more tanky if you're in a squad. You can also just use your guns, and they'll still deal with the enemies just fine. We got another Acolyte here. I think I'm the one who deals with it here. Let me see. Yeah. Yep, there's the Acolyte. We're about to push his shit in. Oh, there you go. Almost a one-shot. He kind of moved away, so didn't get hit by the full brunt of that attack. But close. But yeah, as you see, huge damage. With this build, every single ability is a shield gate. So no need for oh shit button. You can just use your abilities. There's no one ability. I find this build really comfortable, and it is my favorite of the two after using it for a couple days. However, it isn't all good in the hood when it comes to Mirage Light, because Mirage exists. Eclipse is technically a worse damage buff in terms of its ceiling, but they can both hit damage cap, so it doesn't really matter because there's cap to damage. If there wasn't, though, Sonar would be the higher one of the two. It also is a little inconsistent. Its redeeming quality over Eclipse is how easy it is to share with your team, but Eclipse is the better ability. And that is one of the main problems with her, along with her not having any innate survivability and having to rely a lot on either Helminth or Shield Gate. But that's fine with that. A lot of frames have that. Sonar can be a little inconsistent with the damage it gives. It just depends on where the spots go. I think she's still valuable in most teams, though. She pretty much makes it so your damage will always be good no matter what level you're on. And that has its use cases, especially if you're carrying some scrubs. Yeah, that's it for Banshee. After revisiting her, I can say that she is very worth using now and has only gotten better with age. The addition of new mechanics like Shield Gate have made her very usable, and her old stigma of being incredibly squishy kind of doesn't apply anymore because you can just Shield Gate now. I think that any squad can benefit from having her, and I had a lot of fun making this video and making this build. I hope you enjoyed. Rip Shy. Goodbye.